Good afternoon, everyone. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews, and I am your literary ambassador. And today I have a special guest on my channel. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is KL Gilchrist, and have been in this writing thing, fiction, for 4 years, I think. And I'm just up on my fourth release, and it's called Engaged. So I really wanted to stop in and talk with Miss Queenie Clem today about my latest release.
All righty. What is your genre and what attracted you to that genre?
I write women's fiction, and I always say Christian fiction slash women's fiction because it's all for a faith-based audience. Everything I write is Jesus Christ based.
Mhm.
But my characters are always the ones that I focus on are always women. So women's fiction, transformational fiction. None of the stories that I write are based on my life. I know some people write stories and it's like fictionalized version. I've always wanted to write. I've always read, and it's just so happened that when I decided it was time for me to write fiction, just a bunch of stories started coming to me. So I just get them kind of one after the other, and my latest one kind of led me into writing about marriage again, but more along the line of the start of the marriage, which is why it's called Engaged.
Okay. Okay. Now tell us a little about Engaged, your latest book. You can give us a synopsis and any other information about your book.
Sure. Just gonna go from the back and read a bit of the summary, if I could. Um, Story is all about Chablis Shields. Chablis Shields is a purple-haired Jesus chick with a line dance addiction, and she's engaged to marry her church's most eligible young bachelor, John Gerald. After dodging a drone in an unbelievable proposal, she figures she'll breeze through 6 months of planning and celebrations and arrive at the altar Instagram ready and shining like a diamond. But the road to marital bliss grows rocky when she discovers her fiance is far from being a muscular yet picture perfect Christian. His financial situation is not what she counted on, and his solution to change it is even more difficult to handle. And that future mother in love, well, let's say she's not exactly on Chablis' side. Meanwhile, trauma from Chablis' past complicates decision making, and lingering issues from John's dating history make trouble in their relationship. With a tight timeline and a village of loved ones waiting for the big day, Chablis has to decide, is she ready for a lifetime of sacrifice and commitment? So then I'll give you a little bit of extra stuff. Yes, there's some line dancing in it, Easter eggs, there's some line dancing in it, there's celebrations in it, there's parties in it. But so there's some fun stuff going on. It's written with a lot of humor and a lot of bounce. This is kind of more of I wouldn't call it a beach read because, when you think beach reads, you always think romance. This isn't really a romance. It's more of a contemporary story, but there's romantic elements. But I want to be clear that it's not a romance because people see somebody holding roses and they think, oh, it's a romance thing. And because you interview people who write romance, Miss Queenie, there's tropes involved in that. And
Right.
there's, run for love and everything. There's none of that going going on in this book. This is more of a teaching book, but teaching through fiction. A lot of times I'll hashtag my posts on Instagram fiction with a purpose because that's really what I write. These are fiction stories just meant to kind of teach, and there's a teaching element, but it's not nobody in the book is there's a pastor that they go to, but it's not about a pastor. It's not about really a church. It's about John. It's about Chablis. One person asked to marry the other. They agree, but it's not so easy getting there. And they do have a point when they have to kind of decide, okay, this person is going to be an adult and they're going to be who they are. The whole marriage. Do I step away now and save myself the trouble of having to sacrifice for them? Or do I go on ahead with everything that life is going to present to a young couple? The couple's in their John's in his early 30s, Chablis in her late 20s. It's very young, like it's a very youthful kind of bouncy thing, but the village of people around them, we have the elders, we have the pastors, we have the deacons, we have all that stuff going on, but we have them trying to control life.
Who is it?
And I think it's a lot of fun. I had a lot of jokes going on, a lot of fun, a lot of laughing all throughout. This is not one of those, sit down, serious tone about marriage. No, you're going to laugh. And you're going to want to try to line dance by the end of it.
Mm.
Yeah.
What inspired you to write this book?
Well, believe it or not, I spend way too much time on Pinterest. And one day, well, I got to the end. First of all, Chablis and John appear in this book, Thick Chicks, and this is where they met. So I wouldn't call this a continuation because it's a whole different offshoot story, but it does contain characters who are from here. So the couple met in Thick Chicks, and so they're continuing on and getting married. And at the time that I finished Thick Chicks, I happened to be on Pinterest, and I was looking at a lot of cartoons and really nice, like Black art, Black love artwork. And I would see all these memes, brothers, you take care of your, you take care of your spouses, and, women pray for your man, and, and all kinds of nice little like cartoons and funny stuff and everything. And I thought, well, what if I kind of took the spirit of that and put it into characters and like wrote a whole story. So you have the fun type of stuff that you see on Pinterest, like engagement rings and dresses and and all kinds of stuff, but also the men praying for their spouses and women praying for their future mate, and counseling type stuff. And I guess you can tell, I know you go through some fiction writers, you try not to give the story away, but give enough of the story, that you'll see what's in it, but without me telling you everything that's going on. So I was watching all those memes, and I thought, okay, yeah, this would be fun. This would be fun to have a fictional couple do all the Instagrammy type stuff. And there's a lot of Instagram in this, all the Instagrammy, Facebooky type things, but to have them be a real couple and see them beyond the postings. And what's it really like when they go broke, when the mother-in-law doesn't like her, when she can't quite have the wedding of her dreams and has to accept that this is what God has for her, and get past a little bit of materialism, dare I say. There's some lessons about that, and about what real life should mean for a young couple deciding to sacrifice their lives for each other. But I would say that the Pinterest pictures, that they started it. Yeah.
Okay, can you read an excerpt from your book?
Sure. I'll start you out at the very beginning with the drone proposal, actually. So I'm reading from chapter 1. This is Drone. This is the book, Engaged, by K.L. Gilchrist. I can handle a lot, for real. I've been through some serious situations in my 20-something years, and not in an I'm a millennial struggling with adulting and I'm stuck living with my parents and my boyfriend is a nut kind of way. Nope. I'm talking intense stuff. Battle back from the edge of death, accept a new life in Christ, live independent and strong, even with the occasional panic attack, conquer my toughest temptations, and win the heart of the dopest bachelor at Rise Community Church. Been there, done that, got the pics on the gram to prove it. This afternoon, though, I am not in the mood to tangle with a ridiculous, worrying, midnight black drone hovering too close to me and my man John on a pathway behind the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Now, my only thought when we turned down here were how warm and rough John's fingers feel holding my hand, and how the air smells springtime fresh, and how those purple flowering azalea bushes look glorious. See, this is our favorite spot. We regularly walk or run through here on bright sunshine-filled days. Even if the sky is gray and overcast, we might still stroll through this joint wearing our matching fleece hoodies. Cold day, hot day, doesn't matter. Right by the parking lot, 2 sun-faded brown benches sit beneath a narrow wooden gazebo. And my heart zings, because that's where John and I experienced our first delectable kiss. In the center of the city, like cool urban teenagers, except we're grown. We're in love, and we're blessed in our cherished little spot of Philly. So we should continue to hold hands and grim and reminisce. But we can't, because this doggone drone zooms over and hovers above us. So I do what any courageous queen would do. I make a break for it. Should we get back here? John hollers when I sprint away. It's a machine. It won't hurt you. Come on now. It's a drone. So no, I yell back. 20 steps closer to my goal, the safety of his black Jeep. His long legs carry him to my side in a flash. He's not even breathing hard. Just so you know, he says, it'll be your fault if I have to wrestle you to the ground. See, if one of my contacts pops out, I won't see you good and you'll mess up the moment. So slow your roll. There's a reason for that drone. I squint at the sky, jump in the fight stance, and stare that warring robot down like our roundhouse ticket if it flies any closer. Bay, I point to the drone. I think some weirdo teenager's flying that thing trying to tape us. A teen isn't flying it, but it is taping us. Well, you got a BB gun or something to shoot it with? You know I have issues. No, now just listen. Will you please stand still? So I'm bouncing around like I'm about to go 6 rounds with Manny Pacquiao. I stop. John steps in front of me. His megawatt smile is everything. Chablis, I love you so much. I love you too. And if you'll have me, he gets down on one knee and pulls a small black book from his jacket. I would love for you to be my wife. Will you marry me? I freeze. I'm not breathing. He pushes the book, a worn Bible, into my hands. A crimson ribbon hangs from the top. Open it. The smile grows larger on his toasty brown face. Joy glows behind his eyes. I do as he asked, and the ribbon is a bookmark for 1 Corinthians 13. Love is patient, love is kind, all that good stuff. In the middle of the crease, tied to the satin ribbon, an exquisite, sparkling, princess-cut diamond and platinum engagement ring. If God pressed the stop button on my life at exact moment, I'd be happy to launch straight into heaven, knowing my final earthly moment had been the most phenomenal one I'd ever experienced. But I'm alive. My heart is still pumping. John gazes at me, still with one knee planted on the concrete. He stays in place, even as a lanky red-haired woman wheels a baby carriage past us and mouths. Aww. Eyes on the ring. I blink once, I blink twice, then 3 times. That promissory jewel shines like a scar in the sky. Forget a stupid drone. So will you? John stands and gently takes the Bible from me. Oh my God. I throw my arms around him so tight I'm practically cutting off his circulation. My face smashes into his shoulder and he murmurs and tries to pull my body aside, but I can't stop squeezing him. He's like, oh my God, his wife. He asked me to be his wife. Right here in the middle of green grass, purple azaleas, and the smell of fresh mulch. Sunshine. He uses his special nickname for me, then lands a kiss near my hairline. My mouth stays smashed against his body. Yes, yes, honey, yes, I will be your wife forever and ever. I love hearing those words, but I need your hand. Let's do this right. I let go of him and tears from my eyes. My hands shake when he grasps it. He pulls the ring from the ribbon and slides it on my finger. Smudges of MAC Viva Glam lip gloss decorate the front of his jacket, but he doesn't seem to mind. You just told me yes, and I don't believe in divorce. He leans down and kisses me softly on one dimple, then the other. Whatever happens between us from this day forward, we're going to work it out, no matter how hard it gets. Do you promise me? I promise. Good. Now, can you do one more thing for me? What's that? Give me a Hollywood-style kiss for Facebook and the gram. John moves in close and I breathe deep, and his face is next to mine. His fingertips stroke my cheeks. I tangle my fingers in his bushy beard. When my mouth meets his soft lips, a magical feeling rises inside me, like I'm saying yes all over again, but different. Yes, I'm yours. Yes, you're mine. Yes, we will take this journey together. He tastes like peppermint trident because he's always chewing gum. But this may be the best kiss of my life. Only the one I get at the altar will top it. And that was from Engaged.
Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow. I'm loving that.
Oh, I'm glad you are. Yeah. A lot of fun, a lot of kissing, a lot of shenanigans going on in the story.
What did you learn when writing this book?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
What did you learn when writing this book?
Wow. I learned a lot about men. I had to do a lot of digging because I've been married for a long time. I'm telling my age when I say I've been married 20 plus years. So I had to go way back and think about not just to get into John's head. I had to really start doing some research into what young men want when they want a wife and what they're willing to tolerate and how they really feel, their hearts. They want to be loved. They want to be respected. And not from, because there's a lot of fights that go on. You've seen things on social media. Should a woman submit? She's not submit. What if she can't cook and all this other stuff? But beyond all that, learning what men want, when they know they're going to get the ring, when they know, excuse me, that they're going to um, sacrifice their lives for when a woman becomes their heart. I was fascinated with, and to learn about young men, how they really feel. I did something, I don't know if other authors did this, but I dug a lot into, like, I would go on Instagram, and I would go on Pinterest, and a lot on YouTube, believe it or not, and see what young Black and brown men were saying about love and marriage and young women. And I would just read comment after comment after comment, because I just got in their head, and a lot of them were yearning. They were really yearning to find that special person. And when they got her, they would say things like, "Oh, I got my queen, I got my rib, I got my favorite." I took a lot of that. I was like, that commentary. You'll see it in Engage. That commentary that John has, that's really like the culmination of just seeing what those young men wrote.
Mhm.
And so I learned a lot. I learned a lot about what young men want these days for a wife, especially what young Christian want. I learned a lot.
Okay. Okay. What do you want readers to take away from this book?
Um, Hopefully, for the young people that read it, I really would love for them to understand that, first of all, if they're praying for a spouse, that
Mhm.
God will provide.
Mhm.
Secondly, I want them to learn that it's not easy. Um, but if they go in with the right mentality, which is, you learn, you're not going to get the perfect person. No one exists. And this couple learns that about each other. They have to learn that, she has to deal with the fact that he's a really disciplined guy, and there's a lot of stuff that he's not going to tolerate. But he has the things that she admires, and then she has to learn to grow with him. I want them to take away that being friends is first. Being friends is crucial. You can't just be attracted to someone and think, oh, as long as I'm attracted to what they look like, and as long as I'm attracted to them sexually, everything else is going to work out. As long as we have money, it's going to work out. No, a lot of marriage is partnership. A ton of marriage is sacrifice, and the fun parts of marriage really are friendship. And so I want these folks. Actually, I say young, but it really can be any age, to take away, if you get that friendship and both of y'all are in love with each other and in love with God, you can work probably just about anything else out. And sometimes you need more counseling. There's a counseling piece that's in here too. There's a piece where the premarital counselor has to step in and kind of, keep them from fighting each other a little. I'm not going to give too much away, but there's a little static in there. If they've got God and they've got each other, the friendship, the partnership, it'll keep them together.
Okay. Can you tell us about your other books and give us like a brief synopsis of each?
Sure. I'll start with the one that I started with. This is Broken Together. And like I said, a lot of my books have like you have Broken Together, a teaching element in them. So this one is about family infidelity, and getting through infidelity together, and making some sacrifices for each other by the end. Um, Holding On is the follow up. It's about blended families. It continues with Tracy and Brian, but it goes on into they goes past the infidelity stage, and they find out that they're having a baby, but there's some underlying issues in their family when it comes to dealing with kids, and blended families. So that's my blended family book. Thick Chicks. It's my third book, my labor of love. This is the longest book I ever wrote. And I always say that it took years off of my life, but this is about Chablis, Mariah, and Tawanda, my 6-foot CEO that everybody loves. By the way, I'm going to write a little novelette about her and a little romance about her. But it's about them as they get together. Mariah has a health crisis that has to do with her weight. The other two decide to join in with her and kind of try to lose weight together.
Mhm.
But Tawanda has a huge jealousy issue, and that is the theme of this book. How can you try to have friendship, and how can you support each other when you're dealing with jealousy from one person, and how she deals with that. They all grow and mature, and end up at a different space at the end. But this one's all about friendship and jealousy. And then I just read from Engaged. This is number 4.
That is a beautiful cover.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Mhm.
You had a
Okay.
wonderful person do that for me.
Are you a plotter or a pantser?
I am definitely a plotter because I'm getting older and I can't remember anything. And what I found is it took me a long time to write Broken Together. Not the first one. The first version was trash. I have to say that I had to rewrite it, but I had to rewrite it because I didn't plot. The first time I was like, I've always wanted to write, and I'm going to write, and I sat down to write a book, and I didn't know what I was doing really. I knew how to, like get a story from the beginning to the end, but I didn't know about beats. I didn't know about how to do 3-act structure right. I didn't know about a saved cat. Save the cat is what I used to do Engaged. But save the cat, the snowflake method, there's all these different methods to plotting a book. But once I learned, I was like, I can still take my ideas and I can still put them into a plot. And it comes out better. It comes out better knowing what I can do. And I don't have another 10 years to sit and play around. From Engaged to I want to be in this seat with you, talking to you a year from now with book number 5. Actually, it's 6. Praise God, I have another book out there that's being considered for a traditional writing. So I'm not going to talk about that one. Traditional publishing. That's done, but I'm not going to talk about it yet. But I'm planning number 6 now, called Boulevard of Broken Dreams, which is about grief. We're going to tackle grief and disappointment. So this one was bubbly, but Boulevard won't be. Boulevard is teaching people what do you do when your dreams are not going to come true. How do you walk with God when they're not going to come true?
Can you tell us about any challenges you had when you published your first book?
Besides not plotting, not really knowing what I was doing, I thought it was going to be easy to get a publishing deal, and I'll be transparent. It wasn't. Even when I had people tell me that the story was good, because I had vetting, I had beta readers, I had people look at stuff before I even pitched it. To hear people say, "Oh, the story is pretty solid, but we don't know how to market you." And I don't know if it probably was a race thing, but you know what? God is good, regardless, because I'm here and I'm still doing it. Praise God. I'm still. I'm still out there, but yeah, that was the hardest thing to know. I was going to be an uphill battle. Still is. I mean, to even get a consideration for book number 5 was incredible. And that, by the way, is a romance. That was incredible. But the first one, it was like to hear no thank you. No, oh, this is a solid story, but no, that was hard to hear. And to say, you know what, there's a message in here and I'm going to have to move forward because God gave me a message and I have to move forward anyway because he's who I trust. I'm like, if it's supposed to be out there in the world, then it's going to go out. It's going to go out. Yeah.
What are you currently working on right now?
Just like I mentioned, Boulevard of Broken Dreams. It's going to be it's going to be probably about as long as this book. I'll try to pitch it. I think after I'm done writing it, see how it goes. And if it gets picked up, praise God. But you know me, if it doesn't, this train is going to keep going. It's going to keep going because I want to bless people with what I write. And it's the job God gave me, and I'm just going to keep going with it.
Okay. Where can readers find you and your books?
Okay. I am at www.klgilchrist. So it's GILCHRIST.com. But you can also find me on Amazon, KL Gilchrist, go on my Author Central. And I'm on all the major social medias. You can find me at KL Gilchrist Author at Facebook, KL Gilchrist at Instagram and KL_Gilchrist at Twitter.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add before we close?
I just want to give some encouragement. First of all, I want to thank you, Miss Queenie, for letting me be here and let me talk to you. It's a pleasure being able to talk to you. Thank you for this platform. It's amazing, especially to independent art. You're godsend to independent artists. So bless you for that. I want to say to the authors who have been told no, keep going. Keep going. Work on your craft. Work on your catalog. And please believe, if you have something important to say, it needs to be out there. It's going to be a lot of work, and people are going to tell you no. And why should you keep doing it? But please, authors, especially if you have a special message behind what you do, stick with it and know that God is with you, and you'll find your audience. It doesn't take as many as you need. You'll find your audience. Yeah.
Okay, before we go, would you like to play Would You Rather Bookish Edition?
Say that one more time. I was like,
Would You Rather Bookish Edition? Would you like to play?
sure.
Oh. Okay, would you rather have a friend who loses your book or one who
Sorry.
hear your books?
Who loses my book or who won't share my book?
Who dog ears your book?
Dog ears it.
Okay, would you rather read from a hardback, paperback, or ebook?
Ebook.
Would you rather have dinner with your favorite author or your favorite character?
Oh, that's tough. I think if I went my favorite character in real life, I'd be shocked. Because I would say my favorite author. My favorite author. My favorite author.
Okay. Would you rather secretly love a book everyone else hates or secretly hate a book everyone else loves?
Secretly love a book that everyone else hates. Yeah. If I can find that gem in there. Yeah.
Okay. Last question. Would you rather be banned from all libraries for the rest of your life, or would you want to be banned from all bookstores for the rest of your life?
Bookstores, because you know what? Everything's online anyway. But I can't live without the library. I'm sorry. I take my daughter there. No. Library, bookstores. I need to go to the library.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for coming in today. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you. I am Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews. Happy reading. Bye, y'all.
Bye.